Hi, in this video I'm going to introduce to you how to use Canvas with the WAMAP system. When you log into your homepage here for this course, you'll see this basic page which starts at the top with a link to WAMAP, which we'll get to in a moment. These buttons will also take you to other places on this page. So for example, if you click this week, it'll take you to the current week. So at the start of the quarter, that would be week 1. So if I click here, you see it takes me to week 1, along with important messages about things that you should be reading, things that you should be completing, assignments that you should be completing, project tasks, and maybe other messages or tips that might be useful for you for that particular week. As the quarter progresses, you'll be able to click on previous weeks to see what happened in the past. And you can also click on Getting Help for some quick information about how to get help in the course. So that's basically going to be the home page in Canvas, but most of the work that you're going to do is going to be done up here in WAMAP. Now, when you click on this link, an account will automatically be created for you in WAMAP. So for example, if I click on either the image or the word link down here, it's going to open up WAMAP for me and create an account in my name. Now, we'll ignore this for a moment because we're before the quarter has started, so this might pop up a couple of times. But you'll see here that what's happened is that the WAMAP page has been embedded into Canvas. Now, typically you're only going to see about 4 weeks. You can always change that if you want to. But you can see here, I'm showing 4 weeks on the calendar, along with a bunch of folders that have all sorts of interesting information and links, and you're definitely going to want to explore most of those things. What I want to focus on is the main things for you to know about. Over here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see your name as it's copied from Canvas, along with the ability to change user preferences like how math is displayed, how graphs are displayed, and very importantly, the time zone. You should set this to be Los Angeles time so it matches Seattle, so that the calendar that you see in WAMAP is accurate. So you can change anything you need to here and then click Update Info. And then we can close that. So that's the upper right-hand corner. Over here in the upper left-hand corner of the WAMAP portion, keep in mind that's different than what you see over here to the left of that. This is the navigation bar for Canvas. And then over here, just to the right of that, this is the navigation bar for WAMAP. So you'll see a link for messages. That's where you will be able to either send or read messages that come from the instructor. If I want to go back to the WAMAP page, I just click up here where I see the name Math 148, and that'll take me back to the main page for WAMAP. There's also a forums link. So you'll post your course introduction here. There'll be a way to get help on the homework, ask general questions, and also post any questions you have about the project. So right now we've got 4 forums that are created right now. I'm going back once again to the main WAMAP page by clicking the link in the upper left corner of the WAMAP window. You also have the calendar link, which is just simply going to take this calendar that you see here and put it into its own window so that it isolates it for you. Going back finally, we have a course map, which allows you to see every single link and every single item in the WAMAP page simply by scrolling down. Now, some of these may not be available yet because they are tied to dates, but you will be able to see everything that's available in the course. If, for example, you want to go to a particular link or a particular folder, all you have to do is click on that. So, for example, you could, let's say we could click on, let's just go to quizzes. And right now it's empty because none of the quizzes are yet live or open. But once they are, you'll start to see links there. Let me go back here to the course map and let's go and look at a folder that actually does have some stuff in it, like the Getting Started folder. If I were to click on that, it would take me right into the folder and I would see all the stuff below it. But if there was one particular thing that I wanted to see that interested me, for example, let's say I wanted to see the guidelines for posting to the forums, I can simply click on that link and it's going to take me into its parent folder. So when I do that, you'll see that that link that I wanted to see is listed. And then you can see that that is in this folder, the Getting Started folder. And then that folder is inside the master course link. So up above here, you'll start to see sort of what are called breadcrumbs that allow you to go back and forward as you need to. So let's go back to the home page. Okay, we have the Getting Started folder at the very top. When you open that, because it's behaving like a folder, it's going to take you to a whole new screen where everything that's in that folder is listed for you. And each of these little blocks will open and close as you click on either the name or on the little arrow. And you should definitely read all of these and do all of the tasks in here before you begin anything in the course. So that's the Getting Started block. Again, let's go back to the main page. The This Week block will open up and will show you what's going on in this week for the course. Now, that's going to match what you see over on the Canvas homepage, so it's just a second place where you can see that and not have to go back and forth. Here in the Click for Calendar Info, you'll see some abbreviations for things that may show up on the calendar. An A means there's some important announcement that day that you should look at. An RA means it's a reading assignment. HW means homework, and so forth. Some of these abbreviations might end up changing as I sort of restructure the course, but if you want to know what the current abbreviations stand for in the calendar, then you can click for calendar info and then close it as you need to. Now, here on the calendar will be a list. Let's go out 6 weeks. This will begin to fill up as the quarter begins. So you'll see quiz links and reading links and homework links. And if you want to go to any one particular link, just click on the day where that item appears, which means it's going to be due that day. And then down below the calendar, you'll see a link to that item, along with information about when it's due. And if it's eligible for a late pass, you can use a late pass by clicking here. To go into the actual assignment that's due that day, just click on the link that matches its name, and that's going to take you right into that assignment. If it were a homework assignment, it's going to take you into the homework assignment. If it's a weekly quiz, it's going to first ask you for the password to the quiz and then take you into that. Color coding typically means the following. If it's green, it means there's generally a good amount of time left before you get that done. You'll start to see things that turn yellow and orange and red, which means there's relatively little time to get those things done, so pay attention to those. Stuff that's in blue doesn't have a deadline. It might just be information about the quarter. For example, here on this date, you see this is the start of the quarter. Week 2 on Friday, you can see is the add drop deadline. And then down here, you're seeing information that's telling you that by this time, you should be thinking about working on updates, project updates 1 and 2. And there's more information about that in other parts of the course. So that's sort of the calendar. And then down below, you'll see all sorts of folders that you'll want to explore. The calculator called Desmos, which is going to be very helpful, is available in that particular folder. We also have information eventually that will appear about the exams. The forums can be isolated here. The project link and details is a very important folder that you'll want to explore. The intro video is something that you should watch as soon as possible. And then the project guide is definitely something you're going to want to be referencing from start to finish, because that's going to give you information about how to work many of the problems in the project. I'm not going to open that here because it won't actually show up on this video because of the software I'm using, but you'll definitely want to open that project guide and read through it and use it to help you finish what are called the project updates. Going back to the main WAMAP page, again, there's all sorts of folders here that you're going to want to look at. Another one that's really important is the one called sections, because everything in the course is going to be organized by the sections of the textbook. So in chapter 1, you'll see one folder for every single section in the text. And once those items become available for you, when you open one, you'll see a link to the textbook. You'll see a link to slides that are used in the face-to-face section, but are often very useful for students. You'll see videos that are related to the textbook, and you'll also see other videos that come from YouTube. And you'll definitely want to explore some of these as you make your way through the material. Once assignments are actually available, they're not quite there yet because of the dates. Down below this, you'll see links to things like the reading assignments and the homework assignments. So everything that you sort of need for a section will be in its folder. But keep in mind that if you go back to the calendar, all of the assignments that are completed in WAMAP, for example, the forum introduction post, can be accessed simply by clicking on that date and then going down below the calendar and clicking on its corresponding link. So most students tend to use the calendar to sort of get into most of the assignments, but some of you will likely find it useful to go into the individual folders to look at a variety of different pieces of information that might be available to you in that particular section. So don't completely ignore those. Use them as you feel is useful for you and works for you and how you tend to work. I'm going to allow you to sort of explore most of this on your own, most of the folders on your own, because there's a lot here. But it is important for you to kind of get familiar with how all of this works. Take 15 minutes to kind of look at every folder and see what's there. If you see anything that you think is an error or might not be clear, then simply go to one of the forums. Generally, the one labeled general questions is the best one. Go ahead and add a new thread, give it a subject, and then go ahead and type out what your question might be, and I'll get back to it as soon as possible. So that's a little bit of how WAMAP is embedded into Canvas. Keep in mind, if you want to go back to Canvas, you can click on the home button over here, and that's going to take you right back to this page here, where you'll have access to other kinds of information. Another thing that I'm going to try to do is make sure that the calendar, the course calendar in Canvas, matches the calendar in WAMAP. However, if for whatever reason there's a conflict between something in the Canvas calendar and something in the WAMAP calendar, please know that the WAMAP calendar will always take precedence. Let me know if there's a conflict like that, and I'll make sure that I fix it so that they match. But for those of you who are taking other courses and those courses use Canvas, it might be very useful for you to use the calendar feature so you can see when everything is due in relation to your other courses and your other assignments. So that's a little bit about how WAMAP works. In this course, it's embedded into Canvas. You will not be able to access WAMAP without going through Canvas, which is a little different for those of you who may have used WAMAP before, but it does help students to have one portal, Canvas, to go to, and then launch from there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them into the forums, and we will see you online.